Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commenttary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're listening from. It is day 3, the first match of day 3 of the Club World Cup tournament here in the United States. We land in Atlanta, Georgia today, the home of the Atlanta Falcons, the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Today, Chelsea take on the youngest team in the competition, and when I say the youngest team, I mean the youngest club. LAFC were formed only in 2014 and joined the Major League Soccer as an expansion team. Well, today they face a Herculean challenge as Chelsea's young team arrive in America looking to make a mark. The commentary team today is Russ, Vernon, but we also have with us in co-com today Luke Turton. I'm just going to bring in Luke. Luke, how big of a challenge is this for LAFC today? I know they're at home, I guess, in America, but how difficult of a challenge is it for them today?
Absolutely massive. When you come up against a Premier League side, especially with Chelsea, the quality they've got everywhere, and they seem to be pretty happy with just splashing the cash on anybody that's breathing. I mean, when that's the case, you're always going to come up against a Herculean task, to be fair.
Well, LAFC have won one Major League honours in 2022. And of course, they've also won the Supporters' Shield, which is, in case anybody isn't aware, that is the best regular season record, because remember the playoffs in the MLS. So they have had some success. If you were to pick out one particular player from this LAFC team that you think is going to have the biggest impact today for them, who do you think that might be?
So, apologies in advance for pronunciation, but Dennis Bouanga.
Dennis Bouanga, consistently a top scorer and a dangerous attacker for LAFC. He was actually named amongst the MLS Best 11 in 2024. Interesting choice there, Luke. Thank you very much. Let's turn over to Russ Vernon, our main commentator today. Going to ask you the same question, Russ. How big of a challenge is this for LAFC today?
Yes, good evening, Paul. Good evening, everybody. What a massive game it is for LAFC. It's a big challenge. Everyone knows what Chelsea are like from watching them across in England and probably seen them in America on TV when watching the Premier League. And LAFC, yes, it's in their own land, but when they come up against Chelsea, team of Chelsea calibre, it's going to be a big ask to try and get something out of this game with some of the players, international stars in the ranks as well, and some who have featured on the biggest stages in the Champions League in England as well, Paul.
And how do you think Los Angeles navigate this Chelsea team? I mean, you can pick out goal scorers, Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, of course, Cole Palmer. We know he can score goals. How do LAFC deal with this?
What they need to do, they need to try and stop the supply line. They need to try and stop the ball getting to likes of Cole Palmer and Pedro Neto, Noniman Weke, those kind of players who can feed the likes of Nicholas Jackson, Christopher Nkunku, you mentioned, Paul as well. And you need to stop the supply line into the front men and the wide players and stop the crosses coming into the penalty area. It's going to be a tough task to do that, but I think that's the only way LAFC will get something from this game and beat Chelsea. If they stop the supply lines and get in and behind Chelsea where they can, and if they take the chances, then it could be a good one for them. But if they don't take the chances, Paul, like we've mentioned before, if you don't take your chances, you're not going to score, and that's this That's what some teams have failed to do so far this season in this competition thus far. Take their chances, and then they've been punished for it. Just look at Auckland City. They had some chances against Bayern, and then they didn't take them and got punished heavily by 10-goal defeat.
Right, the other game in this group is later this evening, Flamengo versus Esperance Sportive Tunis. On what level, Russ, do you think this is in terms of Chelsea's difficulty in this group? I mean, with the perhaps exception of Flamengo, we don't know much about them. We've got the Tunisian team as well. Where does this game rank amongst those other two teams?
Well, for me, I think this one Chelsea will be looking at potentially trying to go for the Marcus. I think when you look at it from the kind of caliber of players, season, some of the caliber of the players and some quality players they've got there. Bouanga, as Lou mentioned, is one of them. Ordaz is another. Two really good wingers who can supply brilliant crosses into the box. I think this is probably, I'd say, second behind Flamengo in terms of the hardest team to face in Chelsea's group. I'm saying that like counting off the Tunisian side when I've not really seen them play much, so that could be one of the hardest games as well.
All right. Well, thanks very much, guys. We'll come back to you in a moment when we are ready for the team news. I just want to go through some of the scores in the competition so far, just to bring you up to date. Of course, the competition started on Saturday with the opening match from Hard Rock Stadium, and that finished in I have to say, a goalkeeping masterclass. Al Ahly 0, Inter Miami 0. And on the Sunday, the tournament continued with 4 games on the Sunday. Bayern Munich setting the tournament alight with a 10-0 victory over Auckland City, as Russ mentioned earlier. Paris Saint-Germain stuffed Atletico Madrid 4-0 all over Atletico, and Atletico reduced to 10 men in that game as well. The other game in Group A, Palmeiras and Porto, also finished 0-0. Botafogo got off to a winning start against the host Seattle Sounders with a 2-1 victory as well. Okay, we're approaching kickoff in just a few minutes' time, so I am going to hand you over to our commentary team, Luke Turton, but first, Russ Vernon.
Thank you very much, Paul. Good evening, everyone. Massive game in this Club World Cup for Chelsea, and also not only them, but LAFC to try and kickstart their group stage game with a victory. Let's take a look at the teams then, starting with Chelsea lineup with Robert Sanchez in goal, Reece James, Tosinello, Bayo, Levi Colwell and Marco Correa is across the back. Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia are third in defensive midfield in place of Enzo Fernandez, who is on the bench this evening. Cole Palmer just behind the front three of Pedro Neto, Nicholas Jackson and Noni Madueke. New signing Rory Delap's son Liam Delap is amongst those on the bench, with Keenan Jules-Bjork, Christopher Nkunku also on there as well. Now taking a look at LAFC, they've got Hugo Lloris in goal. Then it's a back four then of Sergio Palencia, Aaron Long the captain, Eddie Seguru and Ryan Hollingshead. I got Jesus in front of the back four. Then it's Mark Delago, Timothy Tiltman in the midfield. 2 behind the front three of Nathan Ordaz, Jeremy Ebuse and Dennis Bugana. On the bench, former Chelsea and Arsenal man Olivier Giroud, and a former Man City youngster went between 2012 and 2018. Yeboah there on the bench. Yao Yeboah is on the bench. The referee is Jesus Valenzuela from Venezuela is there, and Juan Soto from Venezuela is the main VAR this evening. So then, Luke, had a kick-off then, which is very much fast approach. And you'll actually that question in just a second, as we're about to get this game underway. LAFC in their white shirts, white shorts and black socks to get us off and underway, attacking the goal away to our left. Chelsea in their traditional blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks, about to get ready to get this game underway. As we're about to get this game underway ahead of this first game for Chelsea in the Club World Cup. what a big game it will be as we get this game off and underway then. And LAFC rolling back to Hugo Lloris, who sends the ball long downfield. They're looking for the run there of Ebersay there. And look, massive game this for LAFC, as you mentioned with Paul ahead of kickoff. What do you think they need to do to try and stop this Chelsea side from getting something from this opening game?
Look after the ball, not give any silly balls away, and make sure to be quick with it as well, and try and get over the top of the press, because Chelsea are going to press them all day.
Yes, they will do. Look, as you mentioned, they're going to press them all day, and they're already doing that with Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson trying to win the ball high up the field as they go. Jesus brings this ball away and checks it down. It's Ryan Owenshead who can bring it forward down this near side, the left, as they look as Reece James knocks it back to Rob Sanchez, who plays the ball downfield. And Chelsea, winners of the Europa Conference League this season, beating Real Betis in that final. So, and what a boost it is for Chelsea having Nicholas Jackson back fit and available. Luke, he's going to be a key player for them in the attacking ranks today, won't he?
Absolutely, he's a big focal point. He's strong. He's got physicality about him, and he's quick. So really, because Chelsea can play up to him, he can hold the ball up or take the pressure off that midfield from having to keep winning the ball back.
Yes, absolutely. There, absolutely. We've already seen LAFC just keeping the ball out the back. Here is to go forward to Owenshead, who's over the halfway line again, away from Pedro Neto, and he's going towards the edge of the penalty area now. Ball across to this near side, the far side of the right, in towards the penalty area, still going LAFC. A chance for him to pull it back to the edge of the box. There's the number 11, Tillman, who can strike them from there. He can't this time, though, as the ball comes in. Neto edges it away, comes out to the edge of the penalty area, and Cole Palmer gets the ball away looking towards Nicholas Jackson, who, as he fouled his man there, the referee says no, as Hugo Lloris comes out to clear the ball down through back towards Rob Sanchez. But that was a bit of good pressure from LAFC there, Luke, and almost causing problems for Chelsea at the back.
Decent play up to the box. I think maybe Tillman could have been a bit braver and hit it first time as it was pulled back, instead of trying to go across the box. But, I mean, it's early days in the game.
Yes, early days. Both teams trying to figure out how each other will be playing as Reece James sends this ball forward looking for Pedro Neto, and he bounces out of play for a throw into Chelsea, which Neto will pick up the ball to try and take. But will he leave it here for Reece James? No, he takes it himself back to the aforementioned Reece James there. And here is Romeo Lavia into Moises Caicedo. Those two preferred to Enzo Fernandez in that midfield alongside one another. Normally Enzo Fernandez is in there. As Caicedo wins the ball back. And now he is Madueke towards the far side. Romeo Lavia now picks up the ball into Cole Palmer in the number 10 spot. Out wide to Noni Madueke. Those two played well on international duty for England in the games they featured in during this last week prior to the Club World Cup. As is Marco Correa towards the penalty area, the shot comes in. Or should I say, the cross comes in from Marco Correa and goes behind his ears. The shot of Enzo Maresca, who joined Chelsea from Leicester. A lot of people thought to be the next man to leave Chelsea very early in his tenure, but he's still in charge at the moment. But he's there, Luke, coming a bit close, but the poor cross in the end from Marco Correa.
Yeah, it was poor execution in the end, but I thought leading up to that, there was a chance for Madueke to hit it about 4 times. Palmer had the ball on the edge of the box and also had the opportunity to hit it. They just basically held on to it for far too long and had to go backwards, and then the ball in was just terrible.
Yes, absolutely. And LAFC coming forward with possessions over there on the far side for Nathan Ordaz. A bit of play from him, rolls it into Delgado, crosses towards the back post. Ball down there by Buanga, who can't keep the ball for LAFC, and Chelsea win the ball. Back here's Romeo Lavia, brilliant bit of playing towards Marc Cucurella, on towards Noni Madueke, who can attack down the left-hand side. He goes towards the penalty area, through towards Nicholas Jackson. He turns as he goes down, and the shot comes in, but saved comfortably there by Hugo Lloris. And Decent play again from Chelsea, just the final execution didn't let them down there.
Yeah, I think with that one, it was because he was on the turn and it was slipping as he kind of went to hit it. The ball was always under the ball instead of being over the top, try and get it kind of across the goal, in fairness. But decent play in the build-up.
Yes, and good evening to Nicholas Jones, who's on, who says he's lovely to hear Luke on commentary again. Pleasure to have you listening in again, Nicholas. The words you mentioned about one of the other games that we've heard earlier on in the tournament, the Botafogo game, which I heard last night as well from my good friend Paul James on Sister Channel Focus on Football early hours in the morning. Go check that out. Feel free to do so, guys, after you've listened to us, of course, if you missed that one. Here is Moses Caicedo to Romeo Lavia. Now here is Cole Palmer. Brilliant turn by the Englishman, formerly of Manchester City, of course. It's Pedro Neto, who can attack down this near side, but brilliant piece of play by the LAFC left back there, Hollingshead, to clear the danger. We'll come back at them as Levi Colwell, who also played on international duty for England in the game of the City Ground against Senegal when England lost. He's in the side again today for Chelsea. As Cole Palmer wins the ball back, Nicholas Jackson can't get there this time. Those LAFC will try and bring the ball away. Here's Igor Jesus with the ball for the Gallardo. Out wide to Hollingshead. Now he drops the ball down this near side for Buanga. Buanga attacks down this near side of the left as he cuts in against of Reece James. Pedro Neto gets back at him to win the ball back for Chelsea fairly as well. As now Caicedo picks up the ball and spreads the play out wide there to Madueke, who drops it back there now to Turton, and Chelsea will just tidy up and bring this ball away out of the back. And coming up towards just going 7 minutes of this game, Luke, and we've seen the opening 5 minutes or so. What do you make to the start of the game and the way LAFC are pressing against Chelsea, not letting them have possession in around the penalty area and get shots off like they normally would like to do early on?
I've been impressed by the play from LAFC. They've really got tight to Chelsea and really limited the ball. And Chelsea have not really expected that from them. So I'd say it's been a decent start. Maybe a bit quicker with the passing and get some direct runs by the wide players. But all in all, so far, it's probably the safer option to just try and keep tight and compact.
Yes, as here comes Chelsea again with Turton into Reece James. Now Caicedo back to the aforementioned James and across to Colwell. Forward going to Mark Cucurella into Lavia. Colwell again. We'll drop it back to Rob Sanchez. All in green tonight is Rob Sanchez. Hugo Lloris away in the goal away to my right is all in yellow. The officials are in a red shirt, black shorts, black socks. If you're watching the pictures along with us, thank you for choosing us as your third commentary team for the opening game of the Club World Cup between Chelsea and LAFC. As here, Chelsea will come with possession through Turton, the former Fulham defender. Reece James just knocking the ball around well here as Chelsea to try and move LAFC around to try and create some gaps to try and get through and attack there. And maybe Chelsea just trying to tie their opposition down to try and potentially get some goals later on. But as we saw in some of the other games that I was just saying, the international games where England played and tried to do that, the oppositions didn't tire. So maybe LAFC will not tire because they're used to this heat. Chelsea are not out in America, which is fairly warm out in Atlanta, Georgia. In America, as they come forward now, it's LAFC's. We're gonna can't get on end of that ball through there. There's a fantastic run from Buanga there, but he can't get the ball through there. It's either Julundo. He's just making some notes there. What do you think of him making notes on there, Luke, about so far this game?
The final end ball, because that was great build-up and great movement of the play because they found a bit of space then the execution into Bogana there really wasn't there. In all fairness, it was too far in front of him. And yeah, they had to do better with that.
Yes, here's Reece James forward into Cole Palmer. And Palmer can turn away from his man into Caicedo. 0-0, 10 minutes on the clock if you're just joining us. Chelsea 0, LAFC 0 is the scoreline. Lavia gets it through to Cole Palmer. Into the penalty area, loses out there. As I was, Jesus back there defending well. Brilliant bit of ball up to Ebose, who goes down and wins this side of free kick there. Good bit of play from the LAFC man to win that free kick up against Turton. By a big strong defenders. Turton did well there. Did Ebose the main focal point to win this side of free kick and get them a bit of respite from Chelsea's latest attack. Well, long for remains to be seen as LAFC will try and come forward and cause Chelsea through problems, but Reece James, who saw that danger and read it well, and finds Caicedo, who tries to send Madueke away, and he does send Madueke away down that left-hand side. When Madueke gets the ball in field, and it's cleared. Is it be cleared away here? Yes, it is. Through Long, who does well to clear that ball away. And Chelsea will win possession back, and the winning free kick there to Chelsea. But the referee is just stopping the play minutes from coming across here for something. I'm not sure if his earpiece packaging has come out, so may have to get that reassessed. I think it is. So while the referee's getting that sorted there, Luke, just talk to us about the way Chelsea trying to game behind LAFC, and do you think they can do that and think they can sustain this LAFC way they're playing, or do you think Chelsea will tie them down soon and get that breakthrough that Chelsea are looking for at this moment in time?
I think Chelsea are trying to move the ball around and create the space, but LAFC are staying compact and they're following the ball round. So I don't know whether it's going to be a matter of time for Chelsea breakthrough or not, to be fair, because it's just a bit slow and they need to bring the tempo up a little bit.
Yes, it is Lavitt to try and help Chelsea bring that tempo up. Reece James now has possession from Caicedo into Palmer. To Caicedo once more. And he will try and get the ball out wide to Neto, which he does. Infield to Cole Palmer. Back to Neto again. Go play this. Reece James there to Lavia. And Lavia does well to Cole Palmer. Palmer takes a touch to Reece James. Neto into Lavia. Palmer. That's the penalty. Nicholas Jackson back towards Palmer. And I see one for Pedro Neto. Low cross in. Comes to the back first for Madueke. Can't bring it under his spell. And that's a let off there for LAFC. And now they can break down that far side. Ordaz is there. Where's 27? Cuts in field. I was saying there to roll it on to number 8, Delgado. Now it's into the Bogana, should I say? And he gives the ball away to Lavia. Chelsea will try and come away. Igor Jesus wins the ball back for LAFC. Brilliant pressure there on Moises Caicedo. And Chelsea are not used to teams pressing up against them quite high as LAFC are doing when they've got possession in front of their own penalty area or near their own box. Chelsea's Delgado tries to send LAFC away forward, but good piece of defending across. Now it comes, and Chelsea win possession high over the field through Noni Madueke, and he breaks in towards the penalty area. Low cross in, can't find a blue shirt as Cole Palmer was coming in there. Neto wasn't alert or awake to that attack. I think Madueke may have just been a bit too quick for him there, actually, as Chelsea will come for it. Have to get back in numbers as LAFC just keep hold of possession. And that was a good play from Chelsea. Just the final ball again, Luke, laying Chelsea down, but will break off as is Lavia. What can Romeo Lavia do? He drops it back to Reece James. Caicedo out wide to Madueke. And Madueke will look up. Will he deliver across into the penalty area? He won't. He goes back to Caicedo. Now into Turton. Turton will line up a strike. Well, it goes to James instead. Here's Neto. Good bit of play here from Chelsea as James crosses to the far side. Picks out Madueke again. He's got Cucurella in support for him if he wants to play it inside, which keeps all the possession in. That was good piece of defensive work by Palencia, and that's a good bit of play from Madueke again to win his side of throwing. Good play again from Chelsea, just the final ball not being executed properly there, Luke.
Madueke held on to that far too long. He should have put the ball into the box. But Chelsea's problem so far is they're getting the ball and they're firing it across at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and nobody can then actually keep up with it. If they actually calm down a little bit and just play naturally, they might find each other.
Here's Caicedo for James. And that's another poor back pass, this time by Reece James. He tried to pick out Cole Palmer, too much on that to try and find his England international teammate. Then that move breaks down as Enzo Maresca just watches on, and he will try and give some encouragement to his side as a good throw out here by Hugo Lloris to Hollingshead, who gives the ball forward, but James cuts the ball out and brings the throw in for LAFC. Reece James, the defender who can play either right or left back. I think he can even play centre back, where he's played during his youth team, but now predominantly a full back. Played a left back for England during the international break. But tonight he's playing right back for Chelsea, with Marco Correa playing left back for Chelsea, where he plays only right back for Spain as Jackson gets the ball through from Madueke. Madueke shot his save well by Hugo Lloris and comes out to Cole Palmer, who shot his charge down, and Caicedo will try and keep them over the line for Chelsea. And Chelsea concede a free kick there. Caicedo was the one who conceded the free kick, and it's Ordaz bad there defending and helping out. But Chelsea again, Luke, almost open and scoring there through Madueke.
Yeah, this one was a decent chance. I think if they could get a bit more of a curl on that towards the far post, it might have been more of a chance for it to come off Lloris towards Neto. But decent chance, and Madueke is showing his speed against Palencia there.
Yes, absolutely. He's got the beating of him so far, not Madueke. As Chelsea are trying to get the better of LAFC. There was a stoppage in play here for something. VAR were checking something there. I'm not sure what VAR were checking there, but it's been cleared up very, very quickly. As here comes LAFC with Hollingshead, who's done well. Drops the ball in field to Ebosele, who gets the ball away to Madueke, one of the players you don't want to give the ball away to. And now Nicholas Jackson is the other one you don't want to give the ball up to. Is Caicedo to Lavia. Out wide to Neto, former Wolves man. James now with possession, back across there to Levi Colwell, who finds Turton, back to Colwell again as Chelsea try and come forward from the back this time. Down the line it goes there to Madueke, back to Cucurella, back to Madueke. Now Caicedo switches the play for Reece James, who brings it down well on his chest. Out wide to this near side of the right, and Neto puts in field, but then he goes back on the overlap. Can't take on Hollingshead, who's bad there, brilliantly defending for LAFC, but then the final pass towards Buganga was poor there, and he went out to play for a throw, which Chelsea have gone with quickly here. 19 minutes on the clock. It's still Chelsea 0, LAFC 0. If you're just tuning into us this evening, Russ Vernon getting through the action alongside Luke Turton this evening. Chelsea 0, LAFC 0 in their Group D opener in the Club World Cup. As is Neto crossfield pass, and towards Madueke, comes out to Caicedo. Will he line up a strike here? No. He said he goes to Cole Palmer. He will turn a curling out and just over the crossbar, not far away, maybe to a deflection on route between the goalkeeper. I think he's been given as a corner, but Cole Palmer there, brilliant effort just over the bar, Luke.
That's what I'm talking about. When you get the ball in that sort of area, if you can get a shot away, you're more likely to get something like a corner or a goal or something from that far out, because people aren't expecting you to hit them from there. Whereas if you're in the box, then there's more players to get through. Unless you're really in space, you're going to find it difficult to get one in against a compact side. So you're going to have to start taking risks.
Yes, and will Chelsea take a risk here as the ball is played in? It's deflected out for a throw-in from Neto's cross, and it goes back towards Caicedo with the throw-in. Now Cole Palmer. Will he be the one to take risk for Chelsea? No, he plays into Cucurella, and Cucurella's cross is blocked behind for a corner, and good pressure again from Chelsea. Just the final ball, he's letting them down again, Luke.
Yeah, Chelsea need to make this pressure pay, because they're really starting to up the play around the box. They really need to take a chance soon.
Yes, and Reece James will take a chance for Lee. His shot is deflected away towards Marco Correa, and who can't keep the ball in play, and he goes out of play for a throw in here, and remains Chelsea 0, LAFC 0. And just as you said, you need to up the tempo around the penalty area, and take risks. There was a risk there from the shot from Reece James, Luke, which didn't come to anything really. Good block away, and then Cucurella can keep the ball in play. But good play again from Chelsea. A final ball yet again, just letting down the Blues.
Exactly, and I think that was a bit unfortunate because it took a deflection up in the air. But that's more like it having stopped, trying to get them and then trying to create a bit of an opening. Because if you're passing it round, you're not going to really achieve much.
Absolutely. As here comes LAFC away with possession. There's the number 11, Tillman. Wonderful plays. He gives the ball up to Lavia, which Chelsea will now come forward again as they've won the ball back high up the field, which is where they want the ball to be won up in the field. Chelsea 0, LAFC 0. If you're just joining us, Cole Palmer with possession now for Chelsea. 22 minutes on the clock. Just round the corner there to Nicholas Jackson. It goes down, no free kick given. And now LAFC will break away with Ordaz, the number 27 over on that far side. His final ball again is poor there from LAFC. And Lavia can bring the ball away for Chelsea. Ordaz has gone down and he's slipped, but he's back on his feet now as he tries to pull the ball out from Romeo Lavia. Gets the ball back from Cucurella. Caicedo will play from Caicedo to Neto. Gives the ball away. I got Jesus. It was Bugana. Can't keep the ball in play there. And LFC given a chance to roam down this left hand side. Olinzed to Bwanga. Bwanga controls well and loses out to Caicedo. Goes down. Free kick given to LAFC. No further action. Cole Palmer's having a word, so to Caicedo, the referee, the Venezuelan referee, Jesus Venezuela, not taking any prisoners there, Luke.
No, I think, to be honest, it was definitely a foul from Caicedo. I'm not sure exactly what he's complaining about, and just move on. He's given a decision, back away, and defend and focus. There's no real need to be complaining about it. You committed the foul.
Yes, still 0-0. Chelsea 0, LAFC 0. If you're just joining us here on the Commenttary Hub, Russ, Vernon and Luke Turton, your match commentary team this evening. Also on Storm FM and my very own personal Twitch channel, the ball in towards the penalty area, claimed by Rob Sanchez there well. And he tries to get Madueke away, Jackson away. But LAFC, bad there, defending was long, who send the ball forward there, and there's Sanchez, whose clearance is charged down, but fortunately for Chelsea, no one in a white shirt there was able to gamble on that as Colin Palmer finds Lavia. Well, Chelsea got lucky there, Luke, with that clearance from James. It's in the back of say, which almost led to a chance for LAFC inside the penalty with no one was there to claim it, to react to that clearance. It's been blocked.
LAFC needs to do a bit more of that pressing up the field, because it's clear that Chelsea don't like it when you press them and are likely to create these kind of openings. And if somebody gambled on that in the box, it would have been a bit more of a different story. But I think they were all not quite on the same wavelength as Eberstelli there.
Yes, and there is the number 11, Tillman, who does well to tidy up, and the number 14 is coming away with that Palanza. Good bit of play, but Chelsea have won the ball back well as Caicedo finds Corwell, and Corwell goes all the way back to Rob Sanchez again, back into Corwell once more, and Levi Corwell just looking at closely and finds Turton, and this is a good bit of play. Romeo Lavia just turns this ball away. Cole Palmer picks up possession. He will look to attack down this right hand side, but instead he has to come back to Lavia on halfway. Now to Neto on this near side of the right, who cuts in field, finds Reece James into Lavia, who's midway inside the LAFC half, back into the centre circle there, and Turton across on halfway to Corwell. Corwell sends the ball over the top, looking for the run of Madueke down the left hand side. As I got Jesus just tidies up there for LAFC, and they will bring this ball away, and it remains Chelsea 0, LAFC 0. Free kick given to LAFC, foul there by Turton there in Chelsea. Good play again from them. We just can't find the breakthroughs. Ordaz just getting back up to his feet there. There's Mercedes there, just going down under the challenge of Turton to win his side of free kick there. But that's a good bit of play again by LAFC to force a mistake. But the free kick is possession is being given away. It's James now, as if for Chelsea, inside the centre circle and halfway. Turton gets the ball forward to Caicedo. What can Moises Caicedo do? He wants runners, and he's going running Cole Palmer, but he can't go on the end of that ball. Then and Hugo Lloris comes out and claims, and 27 minutes gone here, Luke. Still goalless between Chelsea and LAFC. Chelsea a lot more possession than their visitors, but the final ball from either Chelsea or LAFC has not been there at all tonight.
Chelsea's problem is slightly different to LAFC's. Chelsea had a lot of the ball that has gone sideways and backwards and sideways, and then the occasional ball over the top. If they had runners off the ball and were able to find those runners, they'd probably have a bit more space and a bit more creativity. LAFC have got enough pressure to get to about 25-30 yards into the Chelsea half, then they run out of players there, and that's when it's become difficult for them, and they give the ball away. So really, it's more of a how can either side negate that.
Yes, it is Neto trying to help Chelsea navigate that as the cross comes in. It's headed away by LAFC. Good piece of defending bad there from Aaron Long, the captain. This is Pedro Neto, who will try and attack down this right hand side, and he does well up against Pagana and takes him on, and he crossing towards Madueke around the back, and that's going to be a goal kick to LAFC. Good play that, but the final product again is letting the English side down there, Luke Turton.
Decent ball in, poor header across by Madueke, and basically behind for a goal kick. I think again it was a bit unexpected that ball was going to come all the way through to Madueke, which is why he didn't anticipate having the header, and it just kind of skews off his head. Whereas if they're a bit more alive to it, and a bit more like, okay, I'm going to get on the end of this now, I'm going to make something happen, a bit more creative, then that might have been a different story. But as it is, they just seem half asleep at the moment at times.
Yes, still 0-0, 29 minutes on the clock, as the LAFC coaching team have a chat together, try and work out some tactics to try and break down this Chelsea side, and Maresco and his coaching team will be doing the same, try and work out how to break down LAFC. But can they do this without half-time coming? Here's Madueke, it's a penalty, Molly Madueke, now opening up for a shot for the Englishman. Caicedo now will have it for Cole Palmer. Cucurella back to Palmer again. We're going to play this from Chelsea, will just keep hold of possession back to Turton, now Caicedo on halfway and turns into Lavia. Coming forward again is Caicedo. Back to Lavia once more as Chelsea tried to work an opening. Madwick on the left hand side of the penalty area. He's got Cucurella on the outside of him near the touchline. Plays it back to Lavia. About 25 yards out from goal. Maybe even more than that. Probably around about 30 yards from goal actually. As there is Neto now in towards Caicedo once more. Covered back towards halfway. And now Turton inside the centre circle. And now here's brilliant ball from Caicedo. Too much on it in the end, looking for Pedro Neto as he broke into the penalty area on the right hand side. But the ball was over in there. But Chelsea again, good play up until the final ball, Luke Turton.
Yep, again, final ball was way too long and Neto was not quite on the same wavelength as what was going to happen. I think there's a bit of communicational problems with what's going on the field as to who's going to be moving where. And I think that's probably having a bit of an effect at the moment, as they don't seem to know where each other's going to be.
Yes, as LAFC tried to get in behind Chelsea on the left-hand side where Cucurella was, but reading the danger was their goalkeeper, Rob Sanchez. And it remains Chelsea 0, LAFC 0 is the scoreline. Thus far, 31.5 minutes played in the Group D opener before Chelsea and LAFC, and in the Group D opener of the Club World Cup as well. If you want to listen to some of the other Club World Cup games, you can do so. The opening game of the tournament between Ale and Inter Miami was on the commentary with Paul James, your man, on commentary for that one. And then we had Botafogo against Seattle Sounders over on Focus on Football from the commentary of that one there from Paul James again. Our first game in the tournament is tonight as Chelsea look to come forward. Lavia does well. And back it goes again for Chelsea to keep hold of possession. Here is Palmer around the corner. He's giving the ball away for LAFC. Spagana can come away with possession. Wonderful play from the LAFC wide man. And this is good play as Jesus, good bit of ball through to Delgado out wide. There this time brilliantly. Good bit of movement from LAFC as I got Jesus will come forward again. Into Tillman. Now there is Abuse. Good bit of play again as LAFC trying to force a opening here now to try and get the opening goal of the game. There are 3 minutes on the clock, still goalless. If you're just tuning for the very first time to the Club World Cup coverage here on the Commenttary Hub, we appreciate you doing so. Russ, Vernon and Luke Turton, your commentators tonight, as Pedro Neto has been played in here for Chelsea. Round the back, Pedro Neto goes inside. Chance, 1-0 Chelsea! And it's Pedro Neto with the goal on 33.5 minutes. 40 minutes on the clock. 34 minutes on the clock, let's say, when that goal went in. And it's the former Wolves man, Pedro Neto, with the goal, who has given Chelsea the lead against LAFC. Nothing Luis could do about it. It's Chelsea 1, LAFC 0.
That was all made by the ball through from Jackson out to Neto. It was a beautifully weighted ball, and then all Neto had to do was pull around the sliding defender and then smash it into the near post, which is actually really impressive from that angle, because there wasn't a lot of goal to aim at as he came across there. Really, it's kind of more across the keeper, and great power. And he just knew exactly what he was doing, and for the first time in the game, Chelsea have made their dominance pay for all the chances they've been creating.
Yes, and Chelsea up for the scoring first goal of the tournament for in Group D comes from the English side through Pedro Neto, the Portuguese international. Brilliant bit of play, and that is the opening goal in Group D in the Club World Cup, and it comes for Chelsea, and then number 7, Pedro Neto with the goal there on 34 minutes. Who has separated the two sides here now as it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. If you're just tuning into us here now, as LAFC trying to get in behind to get themselves back into the game, as Reece James goes into the referee's notebook here for a foul on Buganda. And Reece James is the first man to pick up a yellow card from the referee this evening. And look, was that a yellow card worth the challenge for you?
I think it's probably just an accumulation of fouls done by Chelsea players, and Reece James has just taken the kind of rap for it. To be fair, I'm not sure if it's actually a yellow card worthy fouling in isolation, but I think it's just a combination of how many fouls they've probably done, plus it's the captain. We'll book you first.
Yes, and an head injury here, or is it? Hold on, his head here for the number 27. It's an head injury for Ordaz. He's been told to come onto the physio to come onto the field for an head injury to give him a check out. Here's the officials now on the field of play. It remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. If you're just tuning into us this evening, Russ, Vernon, Gani through the action alongside Luke Turton for the opening game in Group D in Chelsea's group for the Club World Cup. As Enzo Maresca just barking out some instructions to his Chelsea side as they get ready to defend a set piece after Reece James' booking there, as we just see this move again, as we just look at this VAR check for onside again. Pedro Neto, you can clearly see he's well onside here. Fantastic look at that, brilliantly timed onside. He does well to get to the penalty, and then Neto cuts back in brilliantly and then fires it in, and he had to fire it in at that moment. So his defender coming back there to challenge him there, as the LAFC will be a man down for the set pieces. Nathan Ordaz has gone off to a bang to the head. According to what the referee was signaling there, he began to push the ball in towards the back post. He gets a touch off of Rob Sanchez and behind for a corner. Lugano it was who took the set piece, and Sanchez had to get a touch onto that one, Luke.
That was going in on target, to be honest, so he had to get a touch on it. Decent punch away, and it's going to be a corner.
Yes, LAFC have, looks like they've had to make it their first changes. Martinez is on for Ordaz, who's gone off. Probably a concussion sub there, which means the LAFC man can't continue. So 38 minutes for the first sub sees Martinez on for Ordaz. On the right hand side for LAFC. Be interesting to see how this shapes things up with that change being made there. Now, and be interesting to see what happens as we see the referee's view again on the latest challenge by Caicedo, and it was a definite free kick there as it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. Ordaz off, Martinez on. Confirmation on my monitors for the substitution there as it remains 0-0 as Hollingshead gets the ball in towards the penalty. LAFC can't get a strike, a goal, and it's cleared away by Chelsea. And Bulgana gives away a free kick foul on Reece James, and it remains 1-0 to Chelsea. But Ordaz going off there for Martinez is a bit of a blow for LAFC because he's been the bright spark for them in that first half, Luke.
Yeah, he's looked the more effective of the two wide players. Bogana's not quite got into the game yet. but maybe now this is his chance to take over. I'd like to have seen a bit more of Ordaz, but if you've got a hinge injury, you can't really risk it, and a smart decision to get him straight off.
Yes, absolutely. Probably use of a concussion sub. Maybe use there as here comes Chelsea through Caicedo back to Lavia. Ball through to Cole Palmer. Shot blocked well there. Now breaks out wide for the goal scoring Neto. Neto drops it back to Reece James. And it remains 1-0 to Chelsea. Cole Palmer inside the penalty area. And we're going round the corner. And now here comes LAFC across that far side. There's the substitute Martinez in possession. What can David Martinez do here now? As LAFC delivers across towards the penalty, and it down. No chance for a striker goal there as Chelsea look to come away with possession with a foul by Martinez this time on Romeo Lavia and a free kick the way of Chelsea. As we come towards the end of the first half, 41 minutes on the clock, so into the final 4 or so minutes of that first half. Luke, what's been your assessment of the game thus far, and would you think would be that for your manager going into the break if he stays like this?
I think Maresca will be the happier because they're winning, but I think LAFC's manager will not be too disheartened because the work that they've got through, the tight compactness of their team, and the fact that they've got some really decent, smart players. Igor Jesus in that centre of the field looked tidy on the ball. I just think that maybe the end product could be a little bit better, and that's kind of what's been the difference here. That the Premier League side, Chelsea with Neto, his end product was there in their chance, whereas the LAFC have not really managed to create much of a chance on goal, to be fair.
Yes, only one attempt on goal for LAFC and one attempt on target from them. Chelsea with 8 attempts in total, 3 of them on target, and only one of those found the back of the net as they lead by a goal to 0 thanks to Pedro Neto's strike on 34 minutes, which separates the two sides coming in towards half time very shortly. Well, about just under 2 minutes, or just over 2 minutes, should I say. We'll find out how many minutes of stoppage time we will have left in the first half. 2 minutes plus stoppages left of this first half as Hollingshead will take a throw in for LAFC down the line. Vernon wins the header in the air as Martinez drops it inside, but Caicedo is there quickly to win the ball back for Chelsea. Good career for Turton. Got Crowell over on that far side and he finds him. Does Turton back? He goes to the aforementioned Turton, headed by the other former Fulham man, and they're headed away there this time by Hollingshead and cleared downfield well there by Delgado, who keeps hold of possession. It remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0 is the scoreline. If you're just tuning into us here on the Commenttary Hub this evening, Russ Vernon guiding you through the action alongside Luke Turton for this opening game of the tournament, where Pedro Neto's 34th minute goal separates the two sides this evening. As here's the aforementioned Neto again. He will look to attack now. Goes inside for Palmer, shot is blocked and cleared away. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0 is the scoreline. As I mentioned, Neto on 34 minutes, the difference between the two sides as it stands right now, as we get ready to see if LAFC can get back into this game and try and get back on level terms before half time as Ebose goes down on the challenge of Turton, and just Turton going to the referee's notebook here. Yes, he does. Yellow card there as we enter 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of the first half. Here, 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half as we see Turton commits the foul there, and he definitely booking there as well for Turton, Luke.
Well, if it wasn't for the fact it wasn't his first foul of the game, that on its own is a yellow card. I mean, it's such a silly tackle. I can see why he's done it, but again, you basically just took one for the team there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. It's probably took one for the team there, did Turton and Adebayo, as we enter, we're coming towards the end of the first of the 2 additional minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game as the ball in towards the penalty area. There's a chance for AFC, and they've won a corner here. Neto wanting a foul there by Ebobisse there, the number 17 of LAFC. The corner was given, but then I think the linesman's overruled the referee in the end, so a free kick goes the way of Chelsea by the looks of it. We've come towards the final few seconds of the first half. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. And look, you must say Chelsea got their noses in front, 2 of their chances. LAFC, they take their chances. You've got to say they deserve, Chelsea, probably based on the balance of play with the way they've got forward and the amount of chances they've had, probably deserve the lead going into half time. Break off at the moment is Jackson trying to help him make it doubled. As is Madweke, can he help Chelsea make it double before we get Luke's thoughts on that question? There's a question towards aforementioned Neto. Got the opening goal of the game here, Neto. He does well to keep hold of possession. Down the right hand side, Neto in towards the penalty area. And LAFC will bring the ball away. He's out of play for a throw-in. We'll run out of time for the throw-in as we are at half time. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. But Chelsea, at the end of this first, going into half time, Luke Turton into the lead through Pedro Neto's 34th minute goal. But Chelsea being a good side in that first half and probably deserve the win based on the balance of play.
Yeah, I think they deserve the 1-0 win. I don't think it's anything more than that they deserve. They've had a few near chances, but in all fairness, LAFC have looked compact. They've looked very smart on the ball up until about 25, 30 yards out, then they give it away. And I think really it's one of those which can only get better in the second half. I think you've got to look at Enzo Fernandez, Liam Delap, you've got obviously Giroud for LAFC to come on. I'd say LAFC's got decent players to bring the ball forward. It's just whether they can then find that finishing touch to get back into the game, in all fairness.
Yes, absolutely, Luke, absolutely. So it's half time then. It's Chelsea who have the lead against LAFC. It is Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. Join me and Luke again for the start of the second half. Back over to Paul.
Thanks, Russ. Thanks, Luke. Yes, Chelsea with a narrow lead at half-time. A 34th minute strike by Pedro Neto is the difference between the two sides. Los Angeles not perhaps looking a real threat in that first half. Chelsea also very short amount of chances. It has not been the most entertaining game, but let's hope for better in the second half. We're going to take a 15-minute break now, and we will be back for the start of the second half. Welcome back. It is Chelsea 1, Los Angeles FC 0 at half time. Watching the game with our commentator is our co-com Luke Turton. Luke, would you say LAFC is still in this now? It's only a goal, so they're still in the game. But where do you see the way back for LAFC?
Well, I think that'll often come down to whether they bring on Olivier Giroud in the second half, whether they can get the ball up to him and he can hold the ball up, have it and create a couple of chances. I mean, looking at how they played in the first half, Igor Jesus was getting the ball forward and the wide players just couldn't quite keep hold of the ball. There's too many kind of loose balls miles ahead, and you'd have to be like 3 Usain Bolt speed paces to actually keep up. So really, yes, they're still in it, but they probably have to do a little bit more, and also probably look to the bench to see if they can get a little bit more of a foothold in the game.
How long do you think Los Angeles will wait before they do decide to bring on Giroud?
Maybe about 10-15 minutes into the second half, if they don't concede again.
Round about on the hour mark then. And Ross, same question to you. Do you agree with Luke that perhaps bringing Olivier Giroud in the second half, not really leaving it more than about the hour mark if it's still 1-0, you think that would be the right course of action?
I do, Paul. Yes, I think they just need another vocal point up there, someone who can challenge the defenders, because I don't think when you look at the LAFC squad, Ebose has not really done that in that first half, and they just need someone to ruffle up the defenders and get in around the centre halves and make it difficult for them, because Chelsea's central defenders, Turton and Cole, have actually been relatively easy in possession.
All right, well then we'll get back to you now, Russ. The players are out on the field for the start of the second half.
Thank you very much. There, Paul, we're almost ready for the start of the second half. As Paul mentioned, the teams are back out. It looks like no changes to either side in that ended the first half. Well, there is a change, actually. I can tell you about it. Enzo Fernandez is coming on for Chelsea to replace Romeo Lavia at the start of half-time. Also, Reece James is coming off as well. And replacing Reece James is Malo Gusto. So a double change for Chelsea at the break. Gusto and Fernandez on, or Enzo Fernandez on, and they're replacing Romeo Lavia. And the man also coming off is Reece James there as well. Is the two substitutes at the break for Chelsea in that first at the start of the second half. And when you look at those two changes, are you surprised by the changes that's been made, Luke, or are you not really surprised, especially with James being on that yellow card that he was in that first half?
With James and Lavia going off, it makes total sense for me. We needed a player like Enzo Fernandez to come on to control it, and we also needed Gusto to see if we can bring a bit more, sorry for the pun, Gusto down that right-hand side.
Yes, and there is a confirmations of Gusto's change as well. It'll be interesting to see how this means both sides will line up in the second half. And so with changes, no further changes for LAFC. So teams out of the second half then for Chelsea is Rob Sanchez in goal, Malo Gusto, Turton on the yellow card, Levi Colwill and Marco Correa, Moses Caicedo and Enzo in front of the back four. Palmer in front of them, with Neto, Jackson and Madueke leading the line for Chelsea. As for LAFC, looks like LAFC may be making another change here. It looks like Olivier Giroud may be coming on at half time, Luke, and that's what the delays are, just waiting for his shirt to come here and for the number to see who's going to come off, who's going to come off on for the start of the second half. Just waiting the start of the second half. They're getting ready to come on here in a minute. Olivier Giroud, I'm not sure if he is at this moment in time. We're just waiting kick-off. Not sure what the delay is for the kick-off here. So the team as it stands as in this moment in time is Lloris, Palencia, Long, Segura and Hollingshead, Jesus, Delgado, Tillman, Martinez, who came on for Ordaz, Ebose and Wagana leading the line. It looks like is LAFC making another change at half time. We'll have to wait and see. We're just waiting. Some of the Chelsea players, the likes of Nani Madueke, not happy as it's taking ages here. Not sure what's happening here. I'm just trying to see if you can work out what is going on here at the start of the second half is Olivier Giroud is still stood on the sidelines with his waiting for his shirt, it looks like, and is his shirt coming now? It looks like he left his shirt inside the dressing room, and the sub-goalkeeper had to run round and go and get Olivier Giroud's shirt there. Number 12, Assel had to run, the number 18, Ocha had to run and get it, as Olivier Giroud will be coming on at half-time, and the man Olivier Giroud is going to come on for at the start of the second half is Ebose through the middle. And we were both wrong there, Luke, during our chats with Paul, thinking it was to our mark to catch on Olivier Giroud, but he's come on now at the start of the second half, and we're now back underway at the start of the second half after the short delay of awaiting Olivier Giroud's shirt. What do you reckon that will mean now for LAFC in the second half?
It means they've got a focal point. They can play the ball up and try to keep it up there. I'm actually quite impressed that they've done it at half time. I wasn't sure whether LAFC's manager would be that bold, but he has, so let's see how it goes.
Yes, it is Chelsea on the attack very early on in the start of the second half. Goal Palmer into kind of sending it back towards Palmer again. That was too much on that pass back from Caicedo to try and pick out Cole Palmer there at the start of the second half. So just a recap of the sides at the start of the second half is Sanchez, Gusto, Tosin, Crowell, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, Neto, Jackson, Madueke, Enzo, Fernandez. That is for Chelsea. For LAFC, Lloris, Palencia, Long, Segura, Ollingzed, Jesus, Delgado, Tillman, Martinez, Giroud and Bogana leading the line now. As here comes Chelsea with possession through Nicholas Jackson into Enzo Fernandez. Now Cole Palmer. Brilliant bit of play there, and he's cleared away initially there by LAFC, but they're giving it back to Chelsea again. As here's Gusto now for Palmer towards Caicedo. Palmer again with the ball. He drops it back to Turton, who will have possession inside the centre circle for Cucurella, who's moving from our left-hand side into the centre circle. He's now out wide on this near side through Enzo Fernandez. Cole across there into the path then of the number 27, Malo Gusto, who's on a right back now in place of Reece James. And are you surprised that Reece James has gone off, Luke, for Gusto, or was you, like you're saying beforehand, you think you just felt you want to have a bit more pace and power down that right hand side from right back?
I think it was probably due to the fact it's on a yellow card, and Reece James gave the ball away about 3 or 4 times in that first half. So Maresca probably thought, can we switch this, get Gusto on, see if he can retain the ball a bit better, go forward and not overturn possession so much, and also not make any silly tackles to risk a player being suspended so early on in the tournament.
Yes, absolutely. Is LAFC just trying to find their way out of defence, and they've done that well. As there is Tillman inside towards Olivier Giroud. Can't get there, the former Chelsea and Arsenal man. And as a former Spurs man in goal for LAFC, Hugo Lloris, who wasn't really tested much in that first half in terms of goal-mouth chances. As here comes LAFC with Martinez to try and bring this ball forward into Jesus there. I got Jesus, so wearing the number 6, keeping possession well. Now it's by with Tillman forward. It goes to Martinez, who turns away well here. Back it goes there to the number 14, Palencia. Tillman again inside to Long, and across there to Segura. What a game this has been thus far, as we see Chelsea 0, Chelsea 1, LAFC 0 at the start of the second half, as Chelsea will look to try and make a 2-0 early on, as Madueke does well into Jackson. Back towards Madueke, who does well but loses out on the edge of the penalty area. Now LAFC can come forward. Jackson trying to get there, but he's giving away to Gusto, gets it forward to Neto. Good bit of link-up play between the two men. Now on that right hand side for Chelsea again, and Neto's away. Down that right hand side is away from the number 24, Hollingshead, but all back towards Jackson. Is cut out in the end. Who's behind for a goal kick. A good bit of play again from Chelsea. Just a final ball. Led them down there, look, Turton.
Yeah, again, the final ball that came back towards Jackson just wasn't quite good enough, and in the end, really, you'd expect Premier League players to be able to play the ball back better than that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely there, Luke. Absolutely there. Good to have you with us, Dylan. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. And make sure you listen to other commentaries that we've got here on the channel. Good to have you on board for the first time. I think it is the first time you've joined us on the Commentary Hub, Dylan. So good to have you with us, my friend. Really good to have you tuned in today. As here comes Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. As Gusto trying to get the ball forward. It's cut out here by Hollingshead. And this is a good ball into Tillman, edge of the penalty here for LAFC. Goes across there to Martinez. Martinez's shot is deflected. Just wide. Deflection off him. Olivier Giroud. But Giroud would have been offside. And that effort to deflect into the back of the net would have been this half offside against Olivier Giroud. With good curling effort. Nonetheless from Martinez. Just wide in the offside. That was up there. But good effort from LAFC there. Lucas, they're trying to defend well, and they have done. We'll come back to you on that in a moment. Just Martinez again, who had that chance a moment to go into the penalty. Martinez, and he plays it wide this time. But that was a decent effort just before that. But LAFC starting to get behind Chelsea now, Paul. Now, Luke Turton.
Yes, Martinez. His first shot was unlucky that he deflected off his own man that was offside. I think if that was a deflection of anybody else, that would have been a decent set piece to have taken there. The second one, you really have to be pulling that back across if you're not going to hit it on target. Hitting it wide like that is just unacceptable.
Yes, as Caicedo will try and bring this ball forward. Who can come out on top in this game? Well, Chelsea, who lead by a goal to 0 thanks to the goal on 34 minutes to Pedro Neto. The difference between the two sides. Will his goal separate the two sides come full time, or will there be more goals to come in this game? It's Chelsea 1, LAFC 0, coming up towards 52 minutes gone in this game. And what a game we have got this evening as we see Chelsea against LAFC. And this is a brilliant bit of work, good crossing towards the penalty area. It's out towards the edge of the box for Correa out wide. Madueke chips the ball in, cleared away again. Cleared, further clear. This is a good ball forward. Here is Levi Colwell. Keeps the ball in play, does Colwell. Can he deliver across? And he can't. He wins his side of corner. Coming off there is Palencia, coming off Palencia there. But good bit of play again from Chelsea. And this time they get a corner. Good play there, Luke, though.
Decent tidy play, decent runs off the ball. Chelsea are starting to crank it up a little bit because I want to try and further their advantage, but I think LAFC need to start pressing again and getting back to what they're doing in the first half, because then they'll make it a bit more difficult for Chelsea.
Absolutely, as a corner will be taken by Pedro Neto. Close to him is Noni Madueke, who gets it from the former Wolves man. Now Cole Palmer to the edge of the penalty for Enzo Fernandez. Neto again delivers a good ball in, and he just goes the wrong side. First deflection, took it wide, and Chelsea won another corner, but decent effort this time. I think it was Turton in there, heading towards goal, but good effort again, Luke.
That ball in by Neto and that header from Turton towards the post, it had to get deflected off of the number 11, otherwise that was going into that far corner. That was a proper clearance deflection there.
Yes, it is Cole Palmer. Good ball here from Palmer. Back it goes well to Caicedo into Fernandez. Caicedo once more. Palmer. Cole Palmer delivers a good ball in towards the back post. Too much on that. And he rolls behind for a goal kick to LAFC, which will be taken by former Tottenham goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, and he's gone with it quickly as LAFC are charging forward down that far side as they will look to come forward. Hollingshead and Wagana keep linking up the play well down that side for LAFC. Here they come again with Palencia in field. Good bit of movement here. Now they come again. With football through Martinez, and he can't get Tillman on the ball. Sanchez claims it well, and it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC nil. If you're just tuning into us here this evening, Turton with the ball as LAFC fans behind the Chelsea goal making a lot of noise, and that's away to my right hand side as I look here on this game, which is taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Atlanta, Georgia, is the game, and it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC nil. As here comes Chelsea getting back in numbers as LAFC will try and break them down to get a goal back in this game. And they're not being disgraced. A lot of people coming into the tournament were saying when the likes of LAFC or clubs of that kind of calibre, Wydad will come up against Man City later in the tournament, and Juventus, when they come up against teams like from Europe, the North Americans and like the Auckland Cities, and they will struggle against them. But LAFC are proving that they're not, yes, they're losing, but they're not struggling and getting beat heavily like Auckland City did as the ball in towards Madueke is read by Hugo Lloris, who's done really, really well there, and he will come away with possession of the ball over the top, looking for Olivier Giroud into behind it, and Olivier Giroud scored there. And a chance shot save there. In the end, it wasn't Giroud, in fact, it was Wagana with decent effort again from LAFC. Rob Sanchez had to be alert there to keep it to 1-0 with Turton.
That was probably the best chance that LAFC have had. Great showcase of Wagana's pace and shooting there. Just really probably should have got it a bit higher and a bit further across Sanchez. Decent enough save in the end, and probably shows exactly what you were saying before about LAFC not being disgraced here.
Yes, as here they come now, Chelsea come now with gusto. Down the line it goes for Palm, twisting one way then the other. No ball and is cleared away by LAFC through Hollingshead. Good bit of play this, as LAFC will try and spread the ball well, and they have done towards Martinez, but Colwell's there, read the danger well, and can come forward. Martinez tracking back there, up against Levi Colwell, and making sure LAFC retain possession and will come on the front foot again. Here is Delgado looking to try and pick out Martinez, but instead he goes backwards to long, and now Sagana, a good bit of play this as they will try and come forward with possession. It is Chelsea 1, LAFC nil, 57.5 minutes gone, coming towards 58 minutes on the clock. There's a man down for Chelsea's Marco Correa, who's down off of the ball here. I didn't really notice what had gone off there with Marco Correa. A yellow card is coming out here as well, and the yellow card will go to Martinez. I believe that's gone to Martinez with the yellow card there for the challenge on Correa. I'm just trying to see what happened here against Marco Correa. A shove in the face there from Martinez, and a definite yellow card there, Luke Turton.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is I think Correa definitely knew what was going to happen there, because they both blocked each other off, and then the shove came afterwards. Correa likes to be theatrical, that's my only thing, but yeah, probably a yellow card for the shove.
Yes, absolutely. I'm about to call him Emi Martinez there. David Martinez. And Zomareska watching on. He went after that. There was only a yellow. He felt it should have been more, judging by his reactions there on the touchline, which is just down below us. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. Here's Turton across to Gusto's. Chelsea look to come forward over that far side of the right. He's back now with Rob Sanchez all in green, who sends this ball forward. Can't pick out Madueke, and he's out for a throw-in to LAFC, who can try and get back on the front foot, regroup, and while it's still 1-0 going to the hour mark, anything can really happen. As the song goes by Ellie Goulding, anything can happen, but LAFC have just got to be confident that they can get back into this game, don't they, Luke?
Well, Bogano just proved that it only takes the ball over the top to get back into this. And Chelsea are no strong suits at the back, and you can get at it. So I think, to be honest, just create chances and get one a bit more powerfully on target. And I definitely think that the real chance to get back into this. I mean, Chelsea aren't storming ahead with this game.
No, they're not. As here they come now is Chelsea through Neto. Palmer's ahead of him, but it goes back to Gusto instead. Back he goes further to Turton and across there to Cowell. Turton on a yellow card. Remember, following in that first half, Reece James also on a yellow card. Martinez on the yellow card as well. Reece James was substituted at half time for Gusto. And it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. If you're just joining us this evening, as Palmer goes one way or another, and his ball across to 1-2 with Jackson. He's ball behind for a corner. A good play again from Chelsea. The final ball laying down the Premier League side there.
It's been the same all evening, to be honest. Great run by Palmer. And then it went into Jackson, back to Palmer, and then, to be honest, it was blocked, to be fair. So I'm not going to be too critical of that one. The guy slid in just before I could get it across, and that's why they've got the corner.
Yes, Enzo Fernandez. Now got the captain's armband for Chelsea. And it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. Corner is whipped in, headed across towards the back post. Gusto is there. Ball back into the penalty area, headed back across. Claimed right underneath the crossbar by Hugo Lloris, who will hold on to the ball and take a bit of sting and a bit of time out of that. Bit of chance there, but LAFC trying to get something from this game, but are playing decent football. You've got to say, Paul, that LAFC, as I've been mentioning all evening, have not been disgraced here and are playing really good football and are causing them one or two problems.
Yeah, there's definitely some problems being caused there. I was just watching the replay of Martinez on Cucurella there, so I was a bit distracted.
Yeah, no, we just saw that incident again there. Definitely yellow card though for Martinez as Palmer is in towards the penalty area. Shot comes in and is cleared away for a throw into Chelsea. Neto across there. Will he take it quickly or will he leave it instead? But it's going to be a substitution. Double substitution it is. Number 11, Noni Madueke, is being replaced by Tyreek George. And there's going to be a Chelsea debut as well. Nicholas Jackson is coming off. And the debutant, Liam Delap, the son of former Stoke City legend Rory, will come on to make his Chelsea debut in the Club World Cup. Signed for 30 million this summer from Ipswich Town for their relegation from the Premier League to the Championship, meaning they had a £30 million clause in his contract. Liam Delap, he's now on for his Chelsea debut. Will he add to Chelsea's lead as he comes on for Nicholas Jackson? Well, there is a debut there for Liam Delap. And what are you looking forward to seeing from Delap in a Chelsea shirt, especially not just in this game, but in this tournament, in the upcoming season, Luke?
To see whether he can maintain that physicality and hold-up play that he had for Ipswich and his goal-scoring record, and see if he can actually better that, to be fair, because it was decent in an Ipswich side, but really for a striker, you'd want that to be a little better. Naziri's movement can also be improved a little bit now with better players.
Yes, there is the best involvement. He loses out as he's trying to make his mark in this game as Caicedo has possession. And it's a free kick to LAFC. I think it's a foul by Delap. According to the referee, pushing the ball there, but Liam Delap now on the field of play in place of Nicholas Jackson. Tyreek George also on in place of Noni Madueke. And it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. Will Chelsea double their lead? And will Liam Delap go for the mark this evening in his debut match? Here's Martinez. Out wide for the number 14, Palencia. Back to Martinez once more as he looks to come forward. In towards the penalty, shot is blocked. And there is Pedro Neto clearing the ball away. But Chelsea about there defending really, really well. And it remains 1-0 to Chelsea's. LAFC will try and get on the front foot again here in the Aldwin as a cross comes in towards the penalty looking for Olivier Giroud, heads to go up and it's away. And Chelsea just help it clear. But LAFC coming forward again. Here's Tillman in towards the penalty looking for Giroud. It's cleared away. And Chelsea just tidy up out of the back and just keep hold of possession through Caicedo. Gets down wide to Gusto, but that's a good bit of play. Again, just need that final ball this time to be a bit better there in around that penalty area. But Chelsea now coming forward with possession. Enzo Fernandez on the edge of the box. Out wide to George. Back inside to Fernandez. Shot is blocked. And Turton's right up and around there as they try and keep hold of possession and keep hold of the ball in around the penalty area. Chelsea still lead by a goal to nil. 34th minute strike on Pedro Neto as Chelsea win themselves a free kick here. But Ngana is the one who got foul, who was penalised there, and his Mocha Craze just kicked the ball against Garner there to try to get him a yellow card, but the referee will not punish the LAFC man. And it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. If you're just joining us, 34 minutes on the clock was when the goal went in through Pedro Neto, who's still out there for Chelsea. With LAFC trying to get Olivier Giroud through the centre there, and the final ball was let down again, and Chelsea still lead by a goal to nil. We're being put under pressure here by LAFC, and if they can get a goal, next goal LAFC, we really are going to be the game on here, Luke.
Yeah, my criticism with that last move was play the ball quicker. You knew the ball was going to go to Giroud. It took forever to actually try and get it there. In the end, Chelsea telegraphed it. You're playing against Premier League players. You've got to pass the ball quicker.
Yes, can LAFC play the ball a bit quicker in towards the penalty area? And Palencia giving the ball away this time though. George is bad there. Palencia up against George. And George wins his side a free kick in the left back position there. And really good play by Tyreek George, the substitute, to maintain possession. There is Cole Palmer forward for Liam Delap, and he's thrown goal here. Liam Delap into the penalty area. Delap pulls the ball back. Fernandez is there, and he belongs the top of the bar with a deflection on it. He's put it behind for a corner. How is that not 2-0, Luke Turton?
Well, the answer to that question is a deflection, because I think that's a great run by Delap, and again, this is what I'm talking about. He makes that run all the time, manages to get round the defender, pulls it back, and the defender just gets there right in front of Enzo Fernandez. I think if the defender wasn't there and the ball came back, Fernandez would have had a tap in, but it was great initial anticipation from the defender to block that ball.
Yes, Palmer to Caicedo from that corner, which was taken quickly by Neto, Caicedo again. There's a penalty here, and Cole Palmer blazes it over. That really should be 2-0, and Chelsea really should be doubling their advantage there. Cole Palmer either shoot a goal or square in there for me. Luke, your thoughts?
I don't know how many times in commentaries I've said this, but stop leaning back. If you lean back, you're going to go under the ball's going to go way over the bar. Very rarely do you see a player lean back and actually score from that close in. You've got to get over the ball and hit through it, or just pass it. Either will do, but what he did was totally amateur decision.
Yes, and totally wrong decision there as Delap wins his side of throwing. Good pressuring from Liam Delap then. What do you make to Liam Delap's start so far? He's not hit that one chance where he pulled the ball back, but apart from that, make some good runs, causing the LAFC defenders to clear and to panically come in now.
Looking very lively, and to be honest, I think he adds a bit of a different prospect up there for the defenders than Nicholas Jackson. He's buzzing around, he's trying to get into the channels, so I'm not really surprised either from watching him in the Premier League.
Yes, here's Delap. No, Delap was Neto, but the offside flag is up against Delap, and it's going to be a free kick to LAFC on our near side as Marco Correa not happy with that decision there. Hollingshead has done well a left back up against Neto. And we just see this again. This is the referee's view. Brilliant challenge there. And Chelsea are through with Delap. Oh, they no, not this time either. Brilliant defending, but there was Martinez on that yellow card. He had to come back and had to time the challenge well, and he did. And this is a brilliant ball. And he's Hollingshead, cuts in field, still going Hollingshead. Will he let up a strike? Hollingshead just over the top of the crossbar there. But brilliant piece of play again from LAFC, and the left back Hollingshead. It's opened up for him to cut inside, and when he unleashed a shot from the edge of the box, he's not far away there.
That is almighty close. I mean, great ambitious effort. I think really it needed to go a bit further across than up, but again, for a left back, that was an insane effort, and to be honest, good on him. Carry on.
Yes, it's Delap to Correa, back to Delap again. Now George, wonderful bit of play from Tyree George and Chelsea, and good play from Delap in the build-up. LAFC read the danger well and clear the ball away to Olivier Giroud. And now here they come again. Correa goes down. Good ball forward. Here is Cole Palmer. 72 minutes on the clock. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. There's a stoppage in play here because Moises Caicedo is down on the floor, it looks like here, which is not good news for Chelsea. And if Caicedo goes down, not really many other options who could potentially play in the defensive midfield. Well, as you can see the camera view on Caicedo, who's there. There's Correa limping as well. So it's going to be a double whammy. Caicedo back onto his feet. Now, he's limping. Correa limping as well. Just looking at it again here. I'm trying to see what he's done there. I'm not sure what he's done there, Caicedo. Do you know what's happened there, Luke?
I'm just watching it now. I think his foot went down. I think he's jawed either his knee or his ankle as he landed there. As he's basically stretched forward. That's my guess anyway.
Yes, it's Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. There's the thoughts of co-commentator on, or should I say, expert summariser, Luke Turton. Good to have Luke on the coverage this afternoon. Very soon as well, we'll be getting Luke's choice for player of the match in around about 10 to 15 minutes time. So, Luke, get your thinking cap on who could be your player of the match in this game between LAFC and Chelsea, who lead by, and Chelsea lead by a goal to nil. Chelsea 1, LAFC 0. And Martinez is down, and there's going to be a yellow card for Chelsea man. And the yellow card goes to Mark Cucurella, I believe, there for the foul on Martinez. So Mark Cucurella goes into the referee's notebook after this challenge. He just pushes him over there. He acknowledged the decision, the foul there, Mark Cucurella, and he can really have no complaints there. Just hand in the back, pushes him over. Cucurella gets the yellow card there. A deserved one, in my opinion, Luke.
Them two have been at it all half. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken Cucurella that long to get booked, to be honest, because they've both been at it.
Yes, here's the lap. Chance to make it 2-0 on his Chelsea debut. He's into the penalty area, just out-muscled in the end. And then he fouls his man. There, Liam Delap. He was initially out-muscled at the back there by Delgado. And then he was penalised for pushing him over. In fact, was it Delgado? Let's have a look again here. There was the number 11, Tillman. Excuse me, as he was the one who was pushed over there. And you've got to say, Luke, a definite foul, and there, and Delap was unlucky as LAFC win yet another free kick, this time for a foul by Moises Caicedo.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Liam Delap is trying a little bit too hard at this point and is committing a few silly decisions. But again, Chelsea need to watch out because they're committing a lot of fouls.
They are indeed, and Chelsea have just considered a throw-in. Poor ball from Turton to try and pick out Gusto as he went down to play for a throw-in. LAFC with Hollingshead drops it into Jesus. Good bit of play with Jesus. How wide it goes this time to Palencia. Palencia drops the ball back to Jesus again. Palencia once more. Infield it goes there. Seguria. Further on is Tillman. Now back to Seguria. Now long. Can he go long? No, he goes short instead as long to Palencia. And now Tillman is in behind on this left, near right hand side for LAFC into the penalty area. Chips up towards the back post. Drew was arriving at the back post there. Caicedo helps it away. And LAFC working well here. Regard. Roll crossed in. Comes back. Martinez shot is blocked. Back across. And LAFC just put it wide. I think the offside flag was up anyway. Lugana puts it wide. But LAFC go close yet again.
I have to admit, the offside flag probably saved his embarrassment there because he really should be finishing that at the back post. And again, it was decent play. The ball across was flicked out and then it's been flicked around by the Chelsea players off of the LA shots, and then comes to that post and he just puts it wide. I mean, really, he should be finishing that chance.
Yes, I think he was the one flagged offside initially, as he was the one who put the ball across and then come back, which deflected and put the ball back across towards him. We're going there, and the LAFC conceded yet another free kick. Hollingshead this time was the man who was penalised by the referee this evening. Jesus Valenzuela from Venezuela. And it remains Chelsea 1, LAFC 0, if you just tuned into us here on the Commentary Hub. Also Storm FM and my personal Twitch channel. LAFC still trailing Chelsea by a goal to Martinez with the ball over the top corner, pick out Giroud, Obagana, and Chelsea now with Gusto. Will they get a second bite of the wind as Chelsea come forward with Palmer with a gust of wind behind them? Ball in towards Delap. Delap with the cross in, and Fernandez makes it 2-0, and Chelsea seal the victory. I would have to say, with 10 minutes to go, they could potentially seal the victory with 10 minutes to go, through Enzo Fernandez, who makes it Chelsea 2, LAFC 0, and he finishes off a Liam Delap centre. Delap assists on his debut. Chelsea 2, LAFC 0.
Yeah, I think it's important to mention Palmer's ball to Delap. Great ball then back by Delap to pick out Enzo Fernandez, who then just basically smashes it past the Reese into the bottom corner. But that is also proven to be why the Premier League side probably is going to now be a bit too strong for the MLS side, because the MLS side have had chances, just haven't taken them, and then they've been punished by a very strong Chelsea team. And again, I thought Enzo Fernandez might come on and make a difference in the second half, and he has done.
Yes, and there's a substitution here for LAFC as well. Coming on is number 23, Amaya, and coming off is number 6 for LAFC, Igor Jesus. And I'm surprised with that one. For me, Jesus has played really, really well for LAFC this afternoon. I'm surprised, and this evening, I'm surprised that he's gone off here, Luke. Are you surprised that he's gone off as well?
Yes, Igor Jesus in that middle of the park has been very tidy, has won the ball back consistently.
We'll break up here as Olivier Drew's in behind. Tries to make it 2-1. It goes down, still gets a strike and a goal, and cleared away in the end from Chelsea. With LAFC almost making it 2-1 with Olivier Drew, who went down after getting the strike away. Wanted a penalty, but the strike went away, so the referee said no, and would play on. His Chelsea 2, LAFC 0. Continue your point there.
Yeah, on Jesus, I think probably it was a bit more tired legs to freshen it up. On that Giroud one, really, I agree with the referee. If you've got a shot off in that moment and then go down, then really you've had your shot. It's not worked. Like, rotate and move on. To be honest, probably should have hit it a little bit further out, so it gave him the opportunity. I'm going to see it again now. Let's have a look. He's running in, but he had ample opportunity to hit it. To be honest, before it went down, I don't really think much of an excuse there. And he was already on the way down before he actually had the shot.
Yes, it was Wagana who he was rather that shot in the end, rather than the aforementioned Olivier Giroud. And he's been getting behind Chelsea these past 5-10 minutes on that side. But Enzo Fernandez with the second goal for Chelsea on 79 minutes. The difference, it was his 9th goal of the season for Enzo Fernandez for Chelsea, as they lead by 2-0 against LAFC. And LAFC have not been disgraced this evening, and they've looked good going forward, as a ball is too much on that and it goes out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea. But LAFC have not been disgraced, they've done well this evening. As Chelsea make a double change now, which will see number 14 Esugo come on from Moises Caicedo. So that is the first change for Chelsea. And the second change sees Cole Palmer, who's played just behind the front men this evening, be replaced by Christopher Nkunku. And just talk to us about Palmer's performance today, Luke, and how do you think he's done today?
He's been very tidy on the ball. He's managed to create a couple of chances and slid that ball across for Liam Delap, fullback for Enzo Fernandez for the second goal. So yeah, he's been better than I think he's been in a few of the Premier League games, but I still think he's got a couple more gears to go up yet.
Yes, absolutely. Caicedo, another fantastic performance from him in that middle of midfield tonight as well. Would you agree with that, Luke?
Yep, he was debate for player of the match, to be honest as well. So, decent performance, mopped it up, played well in the first half next to Lavia, second half against Enzo. But again, I'm not surprised that he's come off after his limping.
Yes, as Delap finds Enzo, who brings a fantastic cross-field pass to Neto, who's done fantastically well out there tonight, got the goal, and has been played absolutely brilliant. Here's Gusto, though, for Chelsea. Back it goes to number 14, Esugos. Just come on for Marco Correa, not Correa, Moises Caicedo, should I say. Marco Correa's out here looking for possession, that's what I was about to say. And the ball forward towards Christopher Nkunku.
Free.
Well,
He's flaming
was
free.
Paul there?
He was free.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Chelsea having to do some defending. It's Martinez crossing towards Magana at the back post. Keeps the ball in there. What can he do here now into the World's penalty? Magana, can he get a shot in there? He can't. Oh, cross, and he goes behind for a goal kick. But Chelsea there had a chance. Couldn't take it. And LAFC almost had a chance. But couldn't take it either there, Luke Turton.
Yeah, if anybody heard me ranting a minute ago, I saw Neto free and the ball hadn't gone out there. It was obvious. But yeah, they had a chance to get one away there and it wasn't taken.
Yes, and Neto, the opening goal in this game, and then Fernandez with the second on 79 minutes, makes it Chelsea 2, LAFC 0, and Chelsea are having to come forward now with George trying to put the seal on this deal. Neto crossed in deep, was in Nkunku, headed behind by Palencia for a goal for corner kick to Chelsea's. Number 8 for LAFC, Delgado, is replaced by number 20, which is Yao Yaboa. Some people may be wondering, is he the son of the famous former Leeds man Tony Yaboa? I can answer that question in a simple answer of no. And also coming on is number 5, Marlon. Just trying to work out who's gone off for Marlon there. Just trying to... Let's see if we can see if there's a save there. And just trying to work out who's gone off for Marlon there. Just miss is Tillman who's gone off for Marlon there as well. And he remains 2-0 to Chelsea against LAFC. Double change there for LAFC. LAFC got 3 subs left to make if they require them. We'll get ready to give the player of the match very, very soon in this game, where it has been Chelsea 2, LAFC 0. As we next stoppage in play, we'll get Luke Turton's player of the match for you. Let us know who you think player of the match should be as well. If you're listening, give us your thoughts before we give you our player of the match and see whether you agree with us. But the player of the match will be sponsored by Commentary Services, as always, here on the Commentary Hub. And a pleasure to bring you Chelsea's opening match in the Club World Cup. I'll also be bringing you some more games in the tournament. My next offering on my voicing commentary in the Club World Cup will be Real Madrid's opening match on Wednesday against Al Hilal. Looking forward to seeing Trent and Mbappe, Bellingham and co in action in the Club World Cup as we get ready for the free kick. Here's a stoppage in play at the moment as LAFC still trail by 2-0 thanks to Neto and Enzo's goals here. After this free kick is taken, we'll Every time the ball goes out of play, we'll give you the player of the match as Enzo just keeps the ball well. He keeps it ticking. Colwell back with Rob Sanchez, who's all in green across there to Turton and forward into Nkunku. Does well there, back to Turton and back to Sanchez. So while the ball's been knocked around with the bat by Chelsea, would you like to give us your, or should I say, would you like to give the listeners the player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services?
Yes, I elected for Pedro Neto, the scorer of the first goal. He's been open quite a lot this game. He's done some great runs, created a few chances across the box, and took a brilliant one at the near post. So I went for Chelsea's Pedro Neto.
Thank you very much there, Luke. Chelsea's Pedro Neto, the player of the match, sponsored by the brilliant Commentary Services this evening. Picked by Luke Turton, as it's Olivier Giroud inside the penalty area. Ball come back, a shot from the edge of the penalty area from the number 4 there for LAFC, Segura, but from the back, who's moved into midfield since the substitutions, and Marlon has gone into defence since the subs have come on for LAFC. As we're into 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game, LAFC trailing by 2-0 in the game. Interesting to see if we are to get any more goals, as Neto cuts in field. Fernandez out wide to George. George cuts in field towards Enzo, back to Cucurella. Now into the path there of Neto. Can Neto deliver across into the penalty area? Comes back to Mark Cucurella, still working well here, Chelsea. Nkunku, good ball to Gusto. Can they get a second gust of wind, Chelsea, to try and get a third? Or will they settle for a 2-goal lead and 2-0 victory this evening? It's Chelsea 2, LAFC 0. As they come with Cucurella around the corner. And there's going to be a yellow card here for number 14, Palencia, who goes into the referee's, Palencia goes into the referee's notebook. Foul there on Pedro Neto, arm around the neck. And that was a definite yellow card there for the LAFC. Right back, Sergio Palencia there gets a yellow card in the end. It remains Chelsea 2, LAFC 0. If you're just tuning into us here on the Commentary Hub, is Nkunku. Does well, Christopher Nkunku. We just can't get the ball from underneath his feet. Now, in the final 30 seconds of the game, can LAFC get a consolation? They've not been disgraced today against Chelsea. As here comes ball towards the penalty of the run. It goes down there, but gone. No penalty kick given. And I think that was the correct decision by the officials not to give a penalty there. And now, here's Neto attacking the penalty area. Goes in field. Pedro Neto just over the top of the crossbar. Did he take a deflection route? No, he didn't. But yes, Luke, it was close indeed there from Pedro Neto.
I think if he's got over.
And that means that was the last act of the second half. 2-0 victory for Chelsea in the end through Neto and Enzo. As a full-time whistle went, just as that straw went over, Chelsea comfortable winners in the end. No disgrace to LAFC. They put in a great performance, but they have lost by 2-0, not one, as you can see on the screen now. 2-0 the full-time scoreline from this game. Goals from Pedro Neto and Enzo Fernandez, I'm talking about Luke Turton. Let's give his overall thoughts on the game this evening.
Very competitive. I was very impressed with LAFC tonight. Igor Jesus is a very tidy midfielder. Tillman is another really tidy player in midfield. They both really controlled that the LA play going forward. Uganda had a few chances to pull goals back, but couldn't quite take them. Chelsea took their 2 chances well. Neto smashed that one into their post. Enzo Fernandez finished off brilliantly. But again, I'm still going over that Palmer ball out to Liam Delap. Absolutely brilliant. I think, to be honest, it probably was a little bit too much quality from Chelsea there. But again, LAFC gave it a pretty good damn go at that, I have to admit.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic performance in the end from Chelsea as they get off to a winning start in the Club World Cup. Chelsea 2-0 victors over LAFC this evening in what has been a fantastic game as Liam Delap, the son of Stoke City legend Rory, makes his Chelsea debut in the end at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Full time in Group D, in the opening game in Group D. Chelsea 2, LAFC 0.
All right, thank you very much, Russ. Thank you, Luke. So Chelsea edge Los Angeles FC today at the Mercedes-Benz Arena and take a winning start into Group D. Later on tonight, Flamengo and Club Tunis will battle it out tonight as the other 2 teams in this group. But this is a very good start for the English team. Chelsea starting with a 2-0 victory. Just want to bring in Luke Turton. Los Angeles had their chances in the second half. Do you think failing to take them ultimately cost them today?
Yeah, I think they just lacked a bit of confidence of really striking those chances with enough conviction. They got saved by 1 of the 2 missed chances by an offside flag, but I'd still want them to put the ball in the back of the net and then get it ruled out for the offside and have a glaringly obvious chance missed at the back post. I also think they were a little bit not confident enough in the first half to go forward and create those chances. Maybe in the next game, the coach might opt for Olivier Giroud from the start. So I think he definitely changed the complexion of what happened going forward. But again, I think you're playing against a Premier League side, so if you get a chance in front of goal, you have to basically take it, because otherwise you're more than likely going to get punished.
You mentioned in the first half, Luke, that Chelsea was struggling a little bit against the high press from Los Angeles. What made you? What in your mind do you think was the reason why they didn't continue that? Because it did look like they were having some success with it.
It's a lot to ask a side to press at that intensity for the complete 90 minutes. I mean, they probably didn't have the stamina to get through a whole 90 minutes of pressing like that. But again, I also think that Enzo Maresca changed it up a little bit with his tactics. Chelsea moved the ball a bit quicker. Palmer became more influential. You saw Pedro Neto making more runs. Then they changed it and put on Liam Delap, which changed it again, because Delap and Jackson are 2 completely different forwards. And I think, to be honest, they just got done by better players. But again, it was a very competitive game, and that midfield they started with Tillman and Igor Jesus in there, were very tidy. And I think they just, in the end, got done by 2 chances that Chelsea could take.
Do you see, based on that performance, do you see LAFC coming back and qualifying for the last 16?
I think they've got enough about them. I mean, I'd have to see Flamengo and Tunis to see exactly what they're about and how competitive they're going to be in the tournament. But if they play like that, then and take some of the chances, why not? I mean, they've got they've got a decent amount of options there.
Yeah. All right, Luke, thank you very much for that. So Chelsea start Group D and start their Club World Cup with a victory. We're going to end it here. I want to thank you all for listening today. We definitely appreciate your time. Thank you to Russ, fine commentary, and Luke, fine co-commentary. We are on Focus on Football tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK time for Fluminense versus Borussia Dortmund, followed later on at 8 p.m. UK time for Real Madrid and Al Hilal on the Commenttary Hub. So join us for those two games and have yourselves a wonderful evening. Bye for now.